But we have to talk about this report, the imminent reports regarding the situation with Leverkusen, um, Leverkusen, not Leverkusen, Vincent Kompany becoming manager of Bayern Munich. Um, the reports say it's imminent, which is interesting to say the least. Vincent Kompany's right now, this is on the basis of Vincent Kompany. He just got relegated at Atalanta. No, I'm sorry, I'm checking the stream, not working right now, so I'm kind of on it. But Vincent Kompany, he just got relegated with Burnley in a troubled situation what they had this season. They really suffered this season. The players struggling to adapt to the Premier League, and there was thoughts maybe that they could stay alive, but finishing with 5 wins, 9 draws, 24 losses. It was a poor campaign, conceding 78 goals, only scoring 41, only having 24 points. It was a rough season for them. They really did suffer. This Bundesliga, they suffered in the Premier League this year. But they have a lot of Vincent Kompany is able to get this job at Bayern Munich. Now Bayern Munich, it seems like they're on option 98 or 97 or something like that. The amount of managers that they've tried to convince with Roberto De Zerbi, when it comes to the likes of Thomas Tuchel potentially looking at him for a potential replacement, returning again, Hansi Flick, it just goes on and on. The amount of managers that they've got in, and it seems like they're on option. I compared this I've done this a lot of times, but I want to do it again. This just reminds me of the situation of Bayern Munich in 2000 and not Bayern Munich, of Tottenham a few years ago, when they went through all these different managerial candidates, and they eventually decided to go with Nuno Espirito Santos, who was like option 11 or 12, who ended up getting sacked like shortly throughout the season. No, I don't think that's the case for Vincent Kompany. I think he plays a style of football that is appealing to some of the top clubs. So I can see from that basis why. We've all seen the clip of him saying, "There's another side of me that y'all haven't seen, blah, 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 blah." We've seen that clip, but, there's more to being the manager than just those little clips. But, what he did with Burnley, bringing them back up in the manner that they did with the type of football that they played, it was very, very good. It was very, very good. And maybe it's harsh to talk about him being relegated, because kind of how the parachute system works of payments and stuff, they're not going to be able to go in and compete with the teams in the Premier League. It's really a hard ask to ask Burnley to do that. But they didn't really come close to staying in the Premier League. They got relegated a few, like 2 weeks ago, but it never seemed like they had a legitimate chance to get out of there. It was only 27. It was a poor season. And I don't know. It's just after a manager getting relegated, going into the job at Bayern Munich, it just doesn't make no sense to me. Now, for Bayern, they're in a situation where they just want to bring in a guy. They just want someone to say yes to them. They're really struggling. They think this is the best available. And maybe they think he's the manager that can come in, that can get the best out of Harry Kane, that can get the best out of this attacking talent like Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané, get him playing a style of football, and maybe he can work closely with their center backs, improve that their center backs, because they spend a lot of money on center backs when it comes to the likes of Upamecano, Kim Min-jae, Van de Ligt. They spend a lot of money in that position. So having a former manager, a former center back, maybe he could work with them. That could be a part of it. Now, I don't know what the relationship is like between Vincent Kompany and Burnley board and their officials. Maybe they think Vincent Kompany is an easy guy to work with. Maybe they look at him as some sort of stopgap, but a potential project at the same time. We could bring in someone temporarily just so we can, because they can't get the manager that they want, and then whenever they can't get that manager, they can let go of him. Maybe they're looking at it from that sort of point of view. And he's breaking out it like he wants to bet on himself. He believes he's ready for the move, or he wouldn't make that decision. Like Xavi, he's staying at Leverkusen. Well, he believes he's ready to make that next step, Vincent Kompany, and he wants to make that next step. But there is going to be a lot of pressure on the job, not because of the nature of Bayern Munich itself. I mean, that always has pressure with it. Don't get me wrong, but it's also the fact that Jurgen Klopp is there. Jurgen Klopp is available. He's German. The rumors are gonna wrangle. If they go on a bad run immediately, Jurgen Klopp to Bayern rumors will sprinkle, and there's gonna be a lot of pressure on Vincent Kompany to withstand that kind of pressure, and it'll be rough. Bayern sporting directors Max Eberl and Christopher Freund. I'd like to see what kind of project that they're trying to create. If they'll allow Vincent Kompany to choose the players that he wants, or they will take a more of a you manage and we worry about that. He has managed Anderlecht, so I don't know, and so he doesn't really have no Bundesliga experience. He does have experience of managing outside of the Premier League, but he did play at Hamburg before joining City, so maybe that gives him a little bit of an advantage, I guess. But when you look at the amount of managers that Bayern have tried to bring in, like Xavi Alonso, Julian Nagelsmann, Ralf Rangnick, all rejecting the club, it's clear that this is a risk and experimental type of move, and it's it could be maybe it is a temporary move until they can bring in the guy that they believe is the right guy for the job. But then again, Kompany is looking at it. Okay, well that's fine, but I'm betting on myself, and I think I can get it done. And Mauricio Pochettino, he's recently available too. Do you think maybe Bayern take a look at him? But there hasn't been any contact between him and the club, and Bayern are focused on Nagelsmann. It's very, very dangerous, in my opinion, this signing. It's very, very dangerous. It's very, very risky. It's interesting too. It's from being relegated with Burnley to becoming the coach of Bayern Munich. You don't really see that at all. It'll be interesting to see who Vincent Kompany takes with him to Bayern. If he brings Craig Bellamy with him, that's going to be interesting too. I don't know. I'm very, very interested to see how this works exactly. What type of does he compromise his values on football, trying to get results at Bayern because the results are very, very important, or does he stick to his principles? And does he say, the football is the football that we're gonna play, and we stand by these, and I don't have a plan B. My plan is to make plan A better, and that's about it. But we'll see.